Hey everyone, Film Bird here. Today we are talking about my top 10 favorite films of 2024.
Shamadoo.
2024 was a great year in film, especially for horror fans. When I look back at all the movies I watched this year, I'm struck by how many unique and diverse genres were represented. From big budget sci-fi and action epics to dystopian thrillers, a gothic horror classic was revitalized, and believe it or not, we actually got a black and white silent comedy involving hundreds of beavers. An aggressive film involving body horror and social commentary achieved remarkable success this year, something I didn't think was possible in 2024. And it's also been a hell of a year for mustaches in film. Let's take a moment to remember all of the great mustaches in 2024.
Oh yeah.
This might not be the greatest year in film, but it is without a doubt full of unique visionaries. Especially new and young filmmakers like Rose Glass and Jane Schoenbrunn, whose sophomore efforts were impressive, and I can't wait to see what they do next. Keep in mind, these films are my favorites of the year, the ones that I loved and enjoyed the most. It's not meant to be a definitive list. I'm sure your list is going to be much different than mine. I've watched 25 new films this year, which I've whittled down to 10. All of the films that I considered for this list have a wide US release in 2024, despite maybe being released at a film festival in the previous year. I would have definitely liked to see more new films this year, especially The Brutalist, but I just couldn't find the time to squeeze it in before I made this video. I'm sure there's some movies that I missed that would have maybe made my top 10, but there are only so many hours in the day. Over the last few years, I've really had to balance my love for seeing fresh, new ideas in cinema with a strong desire to go back and see older films that I haven't seen yet. And of course, rewatch some of my all-time favorites that I'm always compelled to revisit year after year. But that is a problem for another video. Let's start with a few honorable mentions that didn't quite make the cut, but I still really enjoyed and nevertheless I think you should consider seeing.
Here, kitty, kitty, kitty.
This is it. The moment of truth.
Hello. Who are you? Oh, just a fire fairy. I think she's cursed. Maybe she's blessed. Maybe she's both.
Oh my God.
We're here to help you loosen up. We're gonna party hard, and then we'll be on our way. Time to get Rico!
Shamadoo.
All right, let's get on to the main event. Starting off the list at number 10 is Robert Eggers' Nosferatu is a visually stunning and immersive reimagining of the 1922 silent classic, paying homage to Murnau's Gothic masterpiece while infusing it with his signature blend of horror and historical authenticity. From the eerie, moonlit landscapes to the decayed grandeur of Count Orlok's castle, every detail is meticulously crafted, creating an atmosphere that is infused with dread and supernatural mystery. Bill Skarsgård delivers a chilling transformation as Orlok. His grotesque figure and hypnotic chant-like voice added a new layer of menace to the iconic vampire. Lily Rose Depp also shines as Ellen, portraying a proper lady at one moment, then an emotionally distressed person the next, requiring her to convulse and writhe with madness in an unsettling way. While the film stays true to the original narrative, Eggers deepens the horror and occult elements, crafting a slow-burning nightmare that culminates in a beautifully macabre finale. Though Nosferatu may not be my favorite of Eggers' films, it's undeniably an immersive, cinematic experience that demands to be seen on the big screen, and I can't wait to see the next dark tale that he conjures up.
Be sure to check out my detailed review of Nosferatu on my channel.
Denis Villeneuve's Dune Part 2 is an epic sci-fi masterpiece and a monumental adaptation of Frank Herbert's classic novel, arguably the best version of this story we may ever see. While I loved Part 1 for setting the stage and introducing us to the dynamic Paul Atreides, Part 2 expands the world even further, deepens the character arcs, and delivers riveting battles as war rages on Arrakis. Returning to this world was one of my favorite theater experiences of the year. This film begs to be seen on the biggest screen with the best sound system possible, as its breathtaking visuals and Hans Zimmer's pulsing otherworldly soundtrack create an immersive experience like no other. If you haven't seen it yet, do yourself a favor, turn off the lights, crank up the volume, and dive into this sci-fi masterpiece. And let's be honest, watching Timothée Chalamet ride a sandworm is worth the price of admission alone. Love Lies Bleeding is a stylish neo-noir thriller from director Rose Glass, whose impressive debut, Saint Maud, explored psychological horror. With a larger budget and cast, Glass delivers a gripping queer romance that feels authentic while seamlessly weaving in elements of body horror and crime drama. The film's use of surreal imagery heightens its emotional intensity, culminating in one unforgettable scene towards the end. If you've seen it, you know exactly what I mean. Kristen Stewart was great here, but Katie O'Brien is the real standout. They delivered a powerhouse performance that required tough physicality while also being emotionally fragile. And if Ed Harris sporting a balding mullet and eating bugs sounds appealing, this movie is for you. The soundtrack is also fantastic, with Bronski Beats' Small Town Boy becoming an instant earworm, and forever tied to the film in my mind. A24 released a stellar 4K earlier this year, which is a must-add to the collection.
Perfect Days, directed by Wim Wenders, is a simple yet profoundly moving slice-of-life film that follows the quiet routine of a Tokyo toilet cleaner named Hirayama, played masterfully by Koji Yakusho. Meditative and calming, it invites the viewer into Hirayama's world as he works a simple job, reads Faulkner, watches baseball, listens to cassette tapes, eats at cafes, and does his laundry. Not a whole lot happens, yet I found myself calmly transfixed as I fell into his routine, oddly yearning for the simplicity of that life. Yakusho delivers a subtle yet deeply human performance, expressing so much without saying a word. The film's gentle rhythm and beautifully curated soundtrack is also wonderful, making perfect use of one of my favorite Lou Reed songs. This might not be a movie that everyone can find enjoyment in, and its slow pace may not appeal to everyone. Yet in a world of constant noise and distraction, Perfect Days offers a welcoming reminder to savor life's small joys. Luca Guadagnino continues to serve us meticulously crafted meditations on love and lust. After Bones and All became my favorite film of 2023, Guadagnino cemented himself as a filmmaker whose work I will watch no matter what. I had a blast with Challengers, which is a riveting sports drama about professional tennis centered on a tense love triangle. The film ingeniously juxtaposes the competitive nature of two athletes with their desire for the same woman, creating a layered and intense story. The camera work is incredible, perfectly capturing the kinetic energy of a real tennis match, even following the ball's movement with the precision and intensity of a hungry dog. The screenplay is sharp and cleverly edited, utilizing non-linear storytelling that had me glued to my seat. The techno score by Reznor and Ross perfectly mirrored the chaotic energy of the film. Challengers succeeds not just as an exciting sports movie, but as a masterfully crafted drama that's accessible to a wide audience. Definitely check this one out. Furiosa is a riveting return to George Miller's beautiful and violent wasteland, expanding the Mad Max saga with a deeply immersive and emotionally charged origin story. While it definitely stands in the shadow of Fury Road, one of the best action films of the last decade, I think it does the film a disservice to compare the two. Furiosa carves its own path. While Fury Road was a relentless surge of action and suspense, Furiosa is a more intimate exploration of her formative years as we learn how they became the strong yet broken person we see in Fury Road. Anya Taylor-Joy's performance was subtle yet fierce. Chris Hemsworth is excellent as Dementus, the film's charismatic yet sadistic villain. And George Miller's world building is exceptional. I love seeing other regions of the wasteland, like the Bullet Farm, that were only hinted at in Fury Road. Furiosa is a transportive movie that immediately puts you in the driver's seat as young Furiosa, who is endlessly evading peril and searching for her freedom. In a modern era of shallow action blockbusters, Furiosa is a bold, immersive action epic that enriches the Mad Max mythos and does not disappoint. Coralie Farge's The Substance is a visceral and unapologetic body horror film that delivers its metaphor with a gut-wrenching intensity. Demi Moore gives a fearless performance as Elizabeth Sparkle, an aging celebrity who turns to a black market drug that spawns a younger, more vibrant version of herself, played by Margaret Qualley. Their struggle for control over a shared existence becomes a gripping, grotesque exploration of beauty standards, body dysmorphia, and self-loathing. The film bombards the senses with striking visuals, unsettling sound design, surreal atmosphere, and a relentless narrative. With shocking practical effects, dark humor, and a finale that refuses to hold back, The Substance is a brutal, brilliant critique of society's obsession with youth and beauty. The fact that this film has resonated with audiences gives me hope for more bold, original visions like this to make their way to the screen. Be sure to check out the full review I did for The Substance on my channel.
Alright, we are down to my top 3. All 3 of these films could have easily been my number 1, but I feel confident on how I settled on their final order. Coming in at number 3 is
Anora is Sean Baker's most accomplished work yet, blending the kinetic energy of Red Rocket and Tangerine with the emotional depth of the Florida Project. Mikey Madison delivers a star-making performance as Annie, a strong-willed Russian-American sex worker whose life takes a chaotic turn after a whirlwind romance with Vanya, the immature son of a Russian oligarch. What begins as a transactional relationship quickly spirals into an exhilarating mix of comedy, tension, and social commentary as Annie clashes with Vanya's powerful family. Baker's masterful direction lends the film both a raw intimacy and a striking visual richness, immersing the audience in a world rarely seen with such empathy and nuance. With its sharp storytelling, dark humor, and deeply human core, Anora is an unforgettable exploration of class, power, and the elusive nature of true connection in the modern age. This is cinema at its best. Be sure to check out the in-depth review and ending analysis I did previously on my channel. La Chimera is a beautiful, enigmatic creature of a film, an amalgamation of ideas, styles, languages, and music. Directed by Italian filmmaker Alice Roaca, the movie seamlessly shifts between different film formats to visually evoke flashbacks and memories with dreamlike fluidity. The film is primarily in Italian, which our protagonist speaks poorly, so English is also spoken. The soundtrack, too, oscillates between classical music to storytelling-esque folk songs and electronic music, adding to its textured quality. The film's tone is both playful and somber, effortlessly weaving humor and sorrow into its fabric. This all might sound disjointed, yet La Chimera exists so subtly and perfectly within its own folklore that it feels utterly real. Like its namesake, the film itself is a chimera, a fusion of desperate elements forming something mythical and singular. Before this, I was unfamiliar with Roaca's work, but now I feel as though my life has been slightly altered, enriched by her art. The story opens with Arthur, played by Josh O'Connor, awaking on a train in a dreamlike haze, haunted by images of his lost love, Beniamina. This sense of lingering between past and present pervades the entire film. Arthur is a jaded tomb raider, clad in a ghostly pale linen suit, possessing a supernatural ability to divine buried Etruscan treasures with a dowsing rod. He does so alongside a ragtag group of tombaroli, or tomb raiders, who help him excavate and sell these artifacts on the black market, eking out a living from the remnants of the past. It also presents the moral dilemmas of unearthing the belongings of past civilizations, challenging the audience to consider the ethics of tomb raiding. As I watched, I realized I was beholding something beyond mere entertainment, a true piece of cinematic artistry. Yes, I was thoroughly entertained, but more than that, I was transfixed, transported to a world that, while rooted in 1980s Italy, felt timeless. O'Connor also delivers one of the most understating yet moving performances of the year. His weariness and ennui is palpable in every tired cigarette he smokes, yet beneath it lies an undying yearning for a love lost, for an artifact just beyond reach, maybe even for something that might never be found. La Chimera is a beautiful, mysterious work of cinema that pulls you along gently, like the finest red thread, until it subtly yanks your heart out. It might just have the best ending of any film you'll see in 2024. It is a rare piece of art unearthed.
I know this might sound crazy. I don't want to alarm you.
Do you remember a TV show we used to watch together? It was called
The Pick of Eight?
Yeah. Do you watch?
I Saw the TV Glow is a haunting, deeply personal film that transcends traditional storytelling, blending nostalgia, horror, and existential dread into an indelible emotional experience. Jane Schoenbrunn crafts a visually stunning and emotionally raw exploration of identity, alienation, and the power of media as both an escape and a reflection of our inner struggles. Through Owen and Maddie's obsession with the pink opaque, the film taps into the way stories shape us, sometimes offering solace and sometimes revealing the painful truths that we try to ignore. The film's eerie, dreamlike neon-lit visuals and hypnotic score make it an audio-visual experience, while its refusal to offer easy answers makes it linger in your mind long after the credits roll. Its impact is deeply felt, whether you connect with its allegory of the trans experience, its depiction of loneliness, or its meditation on the slippery nature of memory. I Saw the TV Glow is a film that will seep into your bones. It is the most affecting, thought-provoking, and singular film of 2024, cementing itself as my favorite movie of the year. Be sure to check out my previous video on the channel where I give an in-depth review and ending discussion of the film.
Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe to the channel. I'm hoping to make more videos in 2025, so your support is greatly appreciated. What were your favorite films of 2024? Be sure to comment down below. I'd love to hear what you think. Be sure to follow me on Instagram and Letterboxd for more content. And I hope to see you in the next video.